Powerology. We're studying superpowers. Hello, my friends. Today on Powerology, we are going to be talking about shapeshifters. Now, oftentimes, we have a lot of different supers we tend to call shapeshifters. We basically call almost pretty much anyone who can turn into something other than their normal form a shapeshifter, typically, or most people that fit that. But they're all different. You got ones that turn into animals, one that can only turn into people, ones that turn into objects. There needs to be some classification to specify what kind of shapeshifters we're talking about, because they're not all the same. You cannot just say Milo from Encanto is the same kind of shapeshifter as Sandman or Clayface. And I personally would argue that Sandman and Clayface, one being from Marvel, the other from the DC, Marvel Comics, the other from the DC Comics, are two different types of shapeshifters too, though very, very, very similar. You got shapeshifters like I think Camille was the name in Kim Possible, and you get shapeshifters that only turn to let's see, it's Sky High. You got that shapeshifter who can only turn into a guinea pig. So there's different types of shapeshifters in our in media. Now I'm going to give you a little chart or classification I've been working on. Now, before I get into this, I must be completely honest. I spent a long time trying to look for somebody's idea of what different types of shapeshifters. And I got frustrated because they were talking about more of different mythical creatures that they were that could shapeshift than actual different types of shapeshifters. And I got frustrated. I struggled. I couldn't find anyone, which makes me feel like there's an even bigger need for this. But eventually I did get to find something useful. I went to Quora.com, or when I reached on Quora.com, there was a person who put on a post that I liked, or I put on a post with a shapeshifter classification system I semi-liked. Alright. His name was Austin Lewis, or that was his account name or whatever. Said he had had at least updated the post about a year ago. I don't know if that's how early he put the original, but that's the most recent he's made an update or an edit on it. So I used his guide as a starting point. I adjusted the definitions to make them a little bit simpler, added my own stuff based on his stuff, but things I thought he missed or things I wanted to specify on. I made my own subcategories, basically, and other categories, using what seemed to be his something similar to his naming system. Kind of used his system, his chart as a guide, as a base for my own, but I made it different. And after I go over this, feel free to tell me how I can improve on this, how I can make this classification better, tweak it, what you might have done differently. If you think I missed any types of shapeshifters, go for it. I might make an updated version of this, or you could make your own. Oh, but before that, I would like to thank this one person who I would like to thank this Austin Lewis person, whoever he may be, for giving me the guide to get me creating the guide that got me my starting point on this. And this shapeshifter thing, this was my feeling of my wanting to really have different names for different types of shapeshifters was really the inspiration behind my series as well. Well, anyways, thank you, Austin Lewis, for that. Now let's get into this, and I might have to make this a two-parter because I'm realizing I've been rambling like crazy town. Oh, and sorry about the laundry. I'm doing laundry. Sorry about the mess. We've been working out a little bit of laundry. Oh, here. So it's a little messy on the couch nearby. These are my puppies. This is Tarzan, Vanilla, and Sergeant. Yep. These are baby. Well, technically only Sergeant is a puppy. Wait. Well, he's the closest to the age of a puppy anyways, and he still acts like one. But we call them all puppies. Yep. All right, anyways, let's get into our shapeshifters. So first, we've got our genetic morphs. Genetic metamorphs, which are shapeshifters that can alter their genetic code. Pretty straightforward. If you alter or change your genetic code to shapeshift or to look like whatever, then you are a genetic metamorph. Next, we got our converting shapeshifters. And those are shapeshifters that need to convert into another substance before they can shape themselves. And I'd like to say, I think Sandman, I'm not an expert on DC Comics or Marvel Comics or any of the big time comics. Tarzan, Vanilla, knock it off. Not you too, Sergeant. Boys. Oh, great. Mom's home. 1 second. I'll be right back. Gotta put this on pause. Okay, it wasn't Mom, it was Dad, and he had pizza. Yeah, our dogs have a bad habit of barking whenever people pass by the house or arrive at the house. And we're still working on okay, we got the command that triggers. Okay, we got the message, now be quiet. We're trying, we're working on it. We're working on training them to quiet down after when we tell them, but it's a tough one. That's one of the harder training techniques, and I'm still working. All right, so sorry about the dogs. Anyways, So, we've got our converting shapeshifters, which are shapeshifters that have to convert into another substance before they can really shape themselves. And I'm no Marvel DC comic expert, but I think that Sandman would be an excellent example of that. He has his normal human form. He's actually human. Has But he turns himself into sand. And after he turns himself into sand, he can shape himself, but not when he's in his regular human form. Not saying he can't shape himself into a sandman. Of course he can't shape himself. But yeah, he's shaping the sand. He's shaping himself after he puts himself in sand form, not really shaping himself from his base form, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Oh, wow. Been rambling. I'm running out low on time. I'm going to have to make a part 2. Sorry, guys. Please stay tuned for part 2.